Hey everyone, and welcome to Stitch With Creations. This is this year's Pride collaboration. A group of us over on Instagram were pulled together by Dollyanna to create these beautiful creatures. Featuring Rainstorm Creations, Cute and Cursed, Blood Colours Art, Dollyanna, Boho Punks, Lumbo Dolls, and Summoning Dragon Illustrations. Also shout out to Telly Dollies and Electric Bunny VT as they couldn't make their dolls in time for the deadline, but we should hopefully see them soon. I'm going to be using Howleen as a base. The only thing I'm going to keep is her body and her shoes. So, you know the drill. Cut off all the hair, give them the boiling water treatment to clean off that head and make it nice and squishy. Pull it off. Being nice and squishy means it won't, hopefully, break the neck peg. I will use a flathead screwdriver to scrape off all those little hair plugs inside, and then some needle nose pliers to pull it all out of the neck hole. Any that gets stuck and I can't get out, or if there's too much glue, I'll just do a little slot in the back and pull it out of there and super glue it back up later. This one was pretty easy to get out, except for this big lump at the end. The glue was really dry and crumbly. Very bizarre. As cute as she is, we're going to get rid of that face using 100% acetone. To get into the creases in her lips and other places, I'll use the edge of a nail to push the cotton pad into there. Failing that, you can use a toothpick and get a bit of cotton on there and squish that in there as well. I tidy off any loose bits of plastic or sticky outy bits with a craft blade, and then we're ready to go. Just going to give her a wipe of water to make sure there's no more acetone on her face. And this is her ready for her Mr. Super Clear. Before any of that business though, let's do hair. I have picked this lovely selection. Some black from Shimmerlocks, some old purple from Retro Dolls US, and I'm stealing some yellow off this Ever After High doll, because I don't have any yellow. Might have to expand my collection. I'm going for a shorter hairstyle, so I'm going to be trimming this into small sizes because I'm going to be trimming this further as well. Just loop the hair around a finger, slide it onto my rerouting tool, which is just a needle, cut across its eye and then put into a little hand drill. I hadn't quite decided on how I wanted the hair to be or what, so I was just going to go around until I found a pattern that I fell on. Looking at some of the boy style hairstyles, a lot of them have side partings, so I've clipped off the fringe and done a line where the parting's going to be and held it off to there. Don't worry lovely, you're going to be made into something else one day, so I'm just going to pinch this yellow here. I wanted a yellow flash at the fringe as well, so that's going to go along the parting line. And that's when the lamp died. So, anyway, new colour. We're going on to white. I didn't mention white before. We've had some white put in. There's a white streak too. And onto purple. Good grief, absolute chaos. So with a purple layer underneath, the idea is that it's going to be a shaggy haircut, so you'll be able to see all of these colours underneath it. And if you hadn't guessed, this is the colours that are in the non-binary flag. So our character is non-binary. I'm afraid there's not a lot of footage of me making the clothes, as I had 1,000,001 jobs to do and I was trying to hand sew this while I was trying to do the other stuff as well. So this is what I was using. These are all patterns that are free from Poop and On Sale. I'm really sorry if I've butchered that name. They're over on Instagram and I shall leave a link below. I've also used Moonlight Jewel's stocking pattern. I decided to go with the boy style in the J Fashion selection because it's androgynous, gender neutral, and I really like it. It's quite romantic. So let's make them a little rough. I've cut a length of white ribbon and I'm going to be sewing some lace onto a piece of felt. This needs to be trimmed to the right shape, but I'm just going to layer it up, and this will tie around the neck underneath the collar and be like a little lacy ruff around their neck. I'll run a little gathering stitch through the lace and then pull it together, and where the edges are frayed I'm going to use a little bit of glue and just stick those over rather than hemming it. I'm just going to attach that with a quick running stitch, and then I'm going to make another one and layer that over the top. This lace is a little thicker than I wanted, but it lies quite nicely and I quite like it. Nice and simple. After a boil wash to flatten her hair, it's time to put her in her hair burrito. This protects the hair from the Mr. Super Clear. After a generous layer of Mr. Super Clear, we can start adding some shading in. Just going around the eye sockets and along the nose just to try and deepen those a bit. I didn't really want to try and give her sort of Japanese features per se, but I wanted to try and emulate the cute eye makeup that they do by drawing in the eye bags and putting in some larger pupils, because quite often they'll wear these circle lenses. So I'm just pushing and pulling the pastels in and out, putting more on, layering them up, and then if they go over I can use a kneaded eraser to lift them off again. I'm going to give her some nice thick eyebrows. If you turn the head upside down you can have a look and see the differences a lot easier, and it makes it easier to see the changes you need to make them a little more equal and symmetrical. But like they say, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. Trying to go for a neutral lip colour, a little bit of purple and a little bit of like a dusky pink. Didn't really want to draw too much attention to their lips. Boy style is also called the Boy Lolita style as well, because it has that sort of new romantic, cute element to it. And because my knowledge of Japanese fashion is quite limited, I wanted to stick to something that I knew a little bit about, and there was quite a lot of historical references to sort of more Victorian-esque, Georgian-esque costume styles, which I can do that one. With a base layer of pastels done, I move on to drawing in the eyes. I'm going to colour in the sclera. I find that these Caran d'Ache museum pencils have the best output when it comes to the colour, so I tend to use those for the base colours. You can buy them individually rather than buying them in the packs, which I would very much recommend, because quite often in the packs you get colours that you'll never use. Just going to give her eyebrows some actual hair shapey things, and I'm blending in a black and a brown. Trying to draw in the sort of eye bags that they draw in. Who knew eye bags would be like a fashion thing? I mean, clearly I've been rocking that for the last 20 years. I'm ahead of my time. Just a little bit of highlighting on the nose, lips, and another layer of white on the eyes. Just a little bit of red to sign it definition on the eyelids, so you can see the difference between the eye bags and the eyelids, because they have a little bit of highlighting underneath as well. I'm just lifting some colour straight off the pencil with a bit of water on a paintbrush and just putting in that little highlight underneath the eyes. Some of the pencils were having a hard time layering over some of the pencil that was already there, so again, just lifting up some of that pigment with a wet brush and pulling that off, and if it pulls I can just wipe it off. After doing so many dolls recently with extra mods and wings and other bits and pieces, this was quite nice and easy. The costume was a little bit more complicated than I'd realised, but in the grand scheme of things it was quite nice to have a nice easy doll to do. Apologies, I had a camera malfunction trying to record drawing in the irises and the pupils. Very simple, it's just a brown iris with a little black ring around it and a black pupil at the centre. I'm just putting some resin over the top and I'm layering it up a little bit so it's slightly domed. After a moment in the magic light, it's dry. Just layering it up. Missed a bit there and a little bit there. Flash of the magic light again, and then we will have eyes that reflect the light in a more natural way. Perfect reflection from the ring lights above. Now to release the hair. Mrs. Brush is giving it a bit of a tame, and I apologise, I am not a hairdresser, so I'm just going to butcher this until it looks better, or more the length that I want it to be. I've got an old paintbrush handle that's stuck into a big chunk of plasticine clay, and I stick the head on that because it's nice and solid, and I'm literally just hacking at it. I do a bit of feathering at the ends. There's not much that I can really say about it that would be helpful other than I'll cut it until it looked right. So yeah. I would have liked to have gone a little shorter, but I was worried it was going to start sticking out because it didn't have any weight to hold it down. Onto the shoes. I'm just giving them a quick dry brush with a white to sort of dull them down and bring out the highlights in them. And then I will go back in with black and deepen the dark bits that would be naturally deeper in the shoe. It seems really quite backwards changing dark shoes into white shoes to make them dark again, but it works. I blend in the black into the whiter bits so that you can see the highlights. I'm just going to paint the entire sole and heel black because there's not really much highlighting and pattern on it. and then repeat on shoe 2. Using a nice gold paint, I'm going to be painting on the gold edges of the buckles and the chain that's at the side. It needed 2 layers to be really opaque, but I really like it. The straps had this really cool eyelet detailing in, so just gently brushed the side of the brush over it and it caught the edge and picked up the detail there. And when shoe 2 is done, I'm going to give them a generous layer of gloss varnish. Here she is, let's put her all together. I'm going to heat up her head with a hairdryer so it goes back onto the neck peg, which I trim much easily. However, doing this made the hair stand up again, so I had to faff about blowing it back down. And now they're all dressed and ready to go. So let me introduce to you Ellis, our non-binary, boy-style, Japanese street fashion person. Please make sure you go and check out everybody else's dolls. They are absolutely incredible and so adorable. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Please let me know what you think of Ellis and my companion's dolls, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye!